Dave, I love your show and listen every day. You've taught me an awful lot in the many years of listening. However, you're dead wrong when it comes to gold. It is a terrible investment in this imaginary monetary game we are forced to play. But when the truth finally comes out that we've been using monopoly money since the inception of the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, you may have some listeners coming after your head for telling them to sell it. Why else do you think the credit industry is so willing to give loans to so many losers? The money simply isn't real. Respectfully, Lewis. No, Lewis, you're wrong. Respectfully. Here's the deal. Every culture since the Roman Empire has used some medium of exchange that is or isn't backed by another item that we assign value to. Originally, our currency was backed by what's called the gold standard up until 1913. You are correct about that. After that, we just decided that we were all going to trust each other to continue to take dollar bills or $100 bills and use them as a representative basis for exchange. Did you know gold has no intrinsic value? The only value gold might have is if someone else were willing to accept it. Why would they be willing to accept it? Because someone else might be willing to accept it. That's the only value it has. You could decide dirt had intrinsic value if you wanted to. If other people would accept a little bag of dirt. Ever seen Waterworld? With Kevin Costner, you remember the old stupid science fiction movie? They traded with dirt. Why? Because it was the medium of exchange. It was the currency. So all gold is pretty dirt. That's all it is. And all paper dollars are thin dirt. It's a medium of exchange. It's a matter of, I trust that you can accept that. I accept it in payment because I trust that I can use it as payment. That's the only value any of this crap has. Diamonds are the same way. And no, nobody's going to come after my head because in a failed economy, no time, not once since the Roman Empire in a failed economy has gold been used as a medium of exchange. I'll give you an example. It's called Katrina. Go visit the coast. The economy looked like a bomb got dropped on it. You know what you could buy things with down there? Nobody was using gold, boss. Hardly anybody would even take money. But a bottle of water, you could get a lot for a bottle of water. A 5-gallon can of gasoline? Oh, yeah. Medium of exchange, baby. Supply demand. What matters to people at the time. That's what happens in a failed economy. A pair of American blue jeans will buy you a lot more than a ruble will in Russia. Why? Because it's a medium of exchange. They're so valuable. Because they're so short in supply and there's such a high demand. It's basic econ, dude. And the gold standard is not going to cause the U.S. to fail. And it has nothing to do with why the stupid banks are willing to give loans to losers. The stupid banks give loans to losers because the banks are losers. And they don't and they just figure they're going to have enough percentage of people who pay them versus the ones that don't. It's not because they're somehow in cahoots with the government on the gold standard and it's all a big plot. Oh, come on. Really, let's be grown-ups here. Conspiracy theory my butt. Okay? That's just ridiculous. So, no, gold is a terrible investment. It's an imaginary monetary game as much as cash is. It's all based on whether I'm willing to accept it as currency or not. And if you look at gold as an investment, you can look at it like any other investment and say, what's the track record for the last 50 years? What's the return on investment for the last 50 years? If you bought cars, you could look at the return on investment. Collectibles like art, you could look at the return on investment. Diamonds, you could look at the return on investment, which, by the way, is awful. You could look at the return on investment on whatever you wanted to buy and call it your investment. You could look at stocks. You could look at real estate. You could look at mutual funds. When you look at gold, you will see the average rate of return is less than the rate of inflation. Gold is averaging about 3.9 to 4.1%, and the Consumer Price Index for the last 72 years, the CPI, has averaged about 4.2%. Gold stinks, Lewis. And people should not be buying as an investment, and they should not be buying it under the conspiracy theory concept that in a failed economy it'll be used as a medium of exchange. Don't own any gold at my house except one set of really cool cufflinks. That's it, dude. All right, hope I wasn't unclear.